Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This episode is just one of over 80 episodes we release monthly. Each one is meticulously digitally restored and stored in the cloud, which comes at a considerable expense. To help cover these costs, you might hear some advertisements throughout this episode. While we retain the original commercials for historical authenticity, you may encounter modern ads. We promise to keep these ads to a minimum and try to place them where you would have originally heard them when they aired. If you prefer an ad-free experience, you can support us by becoming a member on our Patreon page. Go to otrwesterns.com/donate. Again, that's otrwesterns.com/donate for more information. I want to emphasize that we're committed to providing this content to you for free, but also want to be transparent about the financial realities of producing these shows. As a reminder, if you're listening to this episode on a service you pay for, please know that they do not support this podcast in any way, and the ads will be in this episode. Now, let's get into this episode. This episode is going to be The Lone Ranger. This episode originally aired in April 1948. It's actually a 4-part series that we've condensed down into one episode. Originally aired April 7th, April 9th, April 12th, and April 14th in 1948. And the title is Special Frontier Town Sequence. Let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy.
A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty "Hi-Yo Silver!" The Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Come on, Silver! Let's go, big fellow! I'm Silver! Hoy! Judge Knott, who owned the bank in Frontier Town, had been gone for 2 days to inspect a piece of property east of Powderhorn River. He was on his way home. His fine horse crossed the river. The railroad tracks were just ahead, and then disaster struck. The judge fell from the saddle, but he was game. Lying on the ground, badly hurt, he managed to draw his gun. Judge Knott saw the man who had fired from ambush, saw him riding away fast. He fired twice, and thought one of his shots found its mark, but he couldn't be sure because he was already sinking into oblivion.
Why, Why did he want to kill me? Why?
That exchange of shots was the beginning of dire peril for the people in Frontier Town. Enemy forces were gathering in the Enchanted Hills just north of Whistling Springs. In Frontier Town, everything was quiet. The noonday sun beat down on the Powderhorn County Courthouse and the meeting house across the road. Next door to the courthouse, Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor sat in front of his office, eyeing a horse that was tethered to the hitch rail of the Grubstake Outfitting Company. He turned to look toward the south and watched Doc Drummond on his way home from a series of morning calls. Doc lived across the road from the sheriff's office.
Hi there, Doc.
Howdy, Two-Gun. Whoa there, boy, whoa. I brought the newspaper for you.
Oh, don't step down, Doc. I'll come and get it.
Milo Phillips asked me to fetch it. Ink is still a little wet.
Milo Phillips should begin to make some money with the Southwest Bugle. Understand he's got over 100 subscribers now.
Trouble with Milo is he's a lot like me. He has to take his pay in whatever way he can get it. And generally, it's not cash.
Speaking of cash, Doc, that reminds me. When is Judge Knott due to get back to Frontier Town?
Well, I was talking to his wife this morning. She's looking for him sometime today.
I'd like to talk to him about that young fellow that's working in his bank.
Jim Keeler?
Yeah.
Well, why? Is there anything wrong with Keeler?
Maybe. Maybe not. I'd just like to talk to Judge Knott about him, that's all.
Doctor!
Your wife's calling, Doc.
Coming, Matilda.
Looks like you're a little late for dinner.
Here, right where you are, dear. I took some food in this basket.
Now, what in Sam
You won't
Hilda?
have time to eat your usual dinner. You'll have to take this with you and eat while you drive. It's an emergency.
My sakes, I didn't think the Higgins expected the youngster.
Oh, it's not the Higgins. It's a man named Slade. There he is. He's coming from the Grubstake Outfitting Company.
Well, what's he want of me?
You'll have to ask him. He's been waiting for you. I think it's his brother or someone close.
You Doc Drummond?
That's my name.
Glad you finally got here. My brother's been hurt.
Where is he?
Northeast a little spell, near Sagebrush Hollow. Can't move him.
Well, I guess there's nothing to do but go and look him over.
My horse is tied across the street. I'll go get him and ride alongside your wagon.
All right, Slade.
Now, dear, do be careful. Don't eat too fast.
No, Matilda.
And try to be home in time for supper.
Yes, Matilda.
And above all, dear, don't drive that horse too fast. You know he's old.
Very well, Matilda. Now, I'd better get started or that man will be past needing me.
Come on, Doc. I'll show you the way. Get up.
Get up there. Get up.
I declare, Matilda, I don't know what Doc would do without you.
Oh, I do hope he doesn't have to go far.
Slade. He looks familiar somehow. Do you recollect seeing him in Frontier Town before?
I'm sure I've never seen him before.
It's curious. Wonder who in tarnation he can be. I don't forget a face. And I've seen that one somewhere.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto had been riding north on the Overland Trail. When the trail bent across the railroad tracks toward Flying Eagle's Indian village, the masked man left the trail and continued due north. Suddenly, he signaled a halt.
What matter, Kimasabi?
Tonto, look ahead. See that horse?
It's plenty good horse.
Fully saddled. Strange it should be steady.
Reins over saddle.
Yeah, so they are.
Kimasabi, look next to Big Rock.
Man on the ground.
Monsilver. Come up, scout.
Got the canteen, Tonto.
Me get it.
Well-dressed man. I'll turn him over.
Yeah. Here, Warner.
Tonto, this is Judge Knott from Frontier Town.
Oh. Him alive?
Alive, but critically wounded.
Yeah.
Good. I'll tear back the shirt. There. Now we can wash that wound.
You see tracks here, Kimasabi. Judge come from east?
Yes, I noticed that. Here, take a look at this. Bad wound, isn't it?
Oh, it's plenty bad.
This calls for a doctor and a good one. We'll do what we can, then I'll stay with the judge. You ride into town and get Doc Drummond.
Me do it. Hey there, Slade.
Wait.
How much farther do we have to go to this wounded brother of yours?
Just a little farther.
Now, hold on. Whoa, boy. Whoop.
The idea is stop.
Come over to the wagon. I aim to talk to you.
Who, fella, who? What's the matter with you?
Nothing's the matter with me. The matter is with you and that story you told me. You said your brother was hurt and that he was between Sagebrush Hollow and Frontier Town. Now, doggone it, we've come plumb through the holler and we're most to the Enchanted Hills.
What of it?
Well, every time I ask where your brother is, you say it's just a little farther.
He's in the Enchanted Hills.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Because he wouldn't have gone that far.
Who wouldn't? I'm a doctor. I go where people need me.
All right, then. My brother needs you. Get going.
Get up, White. Get up. Come on.
That Indian riding up to Doc's place looks downright familiar. I wonder... Well, great day. It's Tonto. Hi there, Tonto.
How, Sheriff?
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. You looking for Doc Drummond?
That's right.
You pushed that paint hard.
Doctor needs it plenty bad.
Doggone, is your masked friend hurt?
No, him not hurt.
Oh, then who is it?
You were looking for the doctor?
That's right.
He's not here. He went to see a man near Sagebrush Hollow.
He won't be back till supper time, Tonto.
Oh, that's bad. Sheriff, maybe it's good you come with Tonto.
Yeah? How's that?
You know fella hit by bullet.
Please speak louder. I can't hear you.
Who's hit?
Judge not.
No. You don't say. You know who did it?
No, me not know.
I'll go back with you.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
It's all right, Matilda. I heard him. Tonto, I'll be with you as soon as I can saddle up.
The Lone Ranger had kept Judge Knott as comfortable as possible in the shade of a clump of cottonwoods on the bank of Powderhorn River. He was pleased to see his friend, Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor, accompanying Tonto, but wondered where Doc Drummond was. The sheriff had been telling about the Doc's emergency trip.
We did all we could, Sheriff. I hope it will be enough.
Is he unconscious from the wound or sleeping natural?
We found him unconscious. He's been that way ever since.
I suppose it would be dangerous to try and move him.
He shouldn't be moved. We'll rig a shelter and keep him here until he's stronger,
Or dead.
Yes, Sheriff.
Dead right at all. Who in Tunket would have cause to shoot a man like Judge Knott? One of the finest men that ever lived.
He's made some enemies.
Well, sure he has. As judge, he sent a plenty of no-account crooks to jail. But every one of them had a fair trial. With the way he runs his bank, nobody can complain. Why, doggone it, if the judge foreclosed on all the past due mortgages his bank is holding on Frontier Town property, more than half the people would be out in the open without a roof.
I didn't know that.
Well, that's the case. And I'd be one of them. I hate to think of what had happened if the judge died and some mean, money-grabbing skinflint took over the bank.
What were you going to say, Sheriff?
Thought just struck me.
Yes?
There's a new head clerk in the rancher's bank. A youngish gent by the name of Jim Keeler. Judge hired him a few months ago.
What about him? Where'd he come from?
I don't know. Well, no one seemed to know. He savvies banking business. I reckon he must be smart. The judge wouldn't have hired him otherwise. But there's something about Keeler.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, he's a pasty-faced gent, sort of sharp-looking.
Oh.
His eyes are set so close together that he could almost look through a keyhole with both eyes at once.
You don't like him?
Got no cause for dislike, but... Well, I was saying that Doc Drummond had knew him. I'd like to talk to the judge about Jim Keeler. Like to find out what the judge knows about him.
Well,
Yes, Tonto. Judge. Judge Knott. Get water, Tonto.
he got it.
Is he coming conscious?
I think so, Sheriff.
Here, water.
Yep. Steady, Judge. Here's some water. I'll drink this.
Crook. You're a crook.
Judge, this mask doesn't mean I'm a crook.
Filthy, scheming crook. You shot me, you.
Why, he's not even looking at you. He don't know what he's saying.
When I get back from my trip east, you better be gone from town. Better be gone. You hear that?
Judge Knott, please,
No
not...
use making more threats. I'll face the music. You say what you please. But if you're still around when I get back, I'll turn murderer.
Judge, try to come out of it.
I'll get you, Jim Keeler.
Kemosabe.
I'll
say
get
Keeler.
Great day. He thinks he's talking to Jim Keeler.
I'll play it that way. Judge, Judge Knott, why do you want me to leave Frontier Town?
He sure has it in for Jim Keeler.
You think Keeler's the one who shot him?
He was shot sometime today, wasn't he?
Yeah, sometime before noon, I'd say, judging from the condition of the wound when we found him.
Then it couldn't have been Keeler.
No?
He was in Frontier Town all morning. I know that to be a fact.
Judge Knott seems to have told him to get out of town. Here, Judge. Try to swallow a little more water. That's it. Take it easy. Oh, Sheriff, I found where the gunman waited in ambush.
You show me, mister, and I'll get after him pronto.
The trail may be hard to follow. Tonto, you stay here and take care of Judge Knott. I'm going manhunting with the sheriff.
Me savvy.
Keeler.
Steady. Take it easy, Judge.
Get Keeler. Get Keeler out of the bank. Get him out of there.
All right, Judge. We'll get him out. Now, rest. That's what you need. Rest.
No. Can't rest. I tell you. Keeler's in my bank. That will mean the end of Frontier Town.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Judge Knott lapsed into unconsciousness after the startling declaration that the presence of Jim Keeler in the Ranchers National Bank would mean the downfall of Frontier Town. The Lone Ranger left Tonto with a seriously wounded banker and set out with Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor to follow the trail of the man who had shot Judge Knott.
Well, through here, the trail is just about invisible.
Rein up, Sheriff. Oh, Silver.
Ooh. Yeah, look at this hard ground. No sign of a hoof mark.
There are ways to follow a trail without hoof marks.
I'm downright glad you came along.
Sheriff, the man we're following was wounded.
Yeah, you pointed out signs of that.
Just before the ground became hard, the tracks moved from side to side, as if he wasn't controlling his horse.
What are you looking at that tree for?
Signs. Come here, boy. Here is one. Here, Sheriff.
Come on. Horsehair.
Yes, caught on the bark. We haven't lost the trail yet. Come on, Silver.
Get up.
In the meantime, Doc Drummond and his escort Slade had reached the wounded man near the Enchanted Hills. Doc had been compelled to give quick temporary treatment, then carry the gunman in his wagon to a camp in the hills. Two friends of Slade were there. A half-breed stood watching the doctor working over the still form on the ground, while another man inspected the contents of Doc Drummond's wagon. Doc Drummond probed the wound.
Better not let anything happen, Doc. You save your own life when you save Jake. If he dies, you're likely to never see Frontier Town again.
I'll do my best.
You better.
You're not helping me any by standing ready to shoot.
You never mind what we do. Just get on with patching Jake up.
Hey, Slade.
Yeah.
Come over into the wagon for a sec.
Right. Breathe. Keep an eye on the doc.
Si, senor. I watch you.
There's a copy of today's newspaper in the Doc's wagon.
What about it? Say anything about Jim Keeler?
No. But it has a few things to say about Jake Dundee. You read this.
Whole column about Dundee. Did you read it?
Yeah, every word of it.
What's it say?
Tells all about how he escaped from territorial prison. And how it's suspected that he's heading in this direction to try to reorganize his old gang.
That's old news. It's been over a month since Dundee broke out of jail. He's all through trying to get the old gang together. He's done it. The critter that wrote this article could see what's up higher in the hills. Why, his eyes would bug right out of his head, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And if he knew Jake Dundee's plans...
Slade, there's nothing to grin about.
Hmm?
This part down here tells all about Dundee, including how he looks and the knife scar on his shoulder.
After we take over Frontier Town and start running the newspapers to suit ourselves, we won't print things like that.
You don't get what I'm driving at. Look over there.
The doc?
Yeah. He's working on Dundee's wound, less than 2 inches from the knife scar. He's seen that scar.
Hey. Wonder if he's read this paper.
He probably has.
That's bad.
It would be bad if the doc had a chance to tell what he knows. It's tough on him, but I reckon we'll have to delay his return to Frontier Town.
Delay it?
Maybe permanent.
Meanwhile, the Lone Ranger and Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor had doggedly followed the trail by observing every detail. It was late afternoon when they reached a place where the tracks of a wagon crossed their path at right angles.
Oh, Silver. Oh, yes. Steady, big fellow. Steady. Look at the ground around here, Sheriff. I think this is the end of our trail.
Yeah, soften up around here.
This is where the wounded man fell from his horse. He lay there on the ground for some time.
It looks like his wound opened up fresh.
The horseman came in from the north. And he stopped beside the wounded man.
His tracks go southwest from here.
We can learn a lot if we look around and study the ground.
After the masked man studied the tracks and applied his knowledge of woodcraft, trails, and trailing, he summarized a sequence of events with a clarity that surprised the sheriff.
Sheriff, the wounded man fell from his horse at this point. Someone, probably a friend, found him here, did what he could for him, then rode toward Frontier Town. Later, the same man came back riding beside a horse and wagon.
What? Doc Drummond's wagon. Now we're getting someplace. That man named Slade came into town to get Doc Drummond.
Are you sure these tracks were made by the doctor's wagon?
Yes, you bet I am. I know these tracks all right enough. Hey, I got it.
Yes?
What's that? Came to me. When I got to thinking about Slade as a gunslinger's friend, I know where I've seen him before.
Where?
On a handbill. He's wanted by the law in a couple of places north of here.
For what?
Bank robbery and murder.
The facts begin to fit together. 2 shots had been fired from Judge Knott's gun. He hit the man who shot him.
And Doc Drummond is treating that wound.
Steady, big fellow. Easy.
Easy now.
Tracks of Drummond's wagon will be easy to follow. Come on, Silver.
Get up there. They head for the deeper hills.
After Doc Drummond had finished treating the wounded man, he found himself looking into the barrel of a .45. Slade ordered the doctor tied to the trunk of a tree and kept there until the leader, Jake Dundee, regained consciousness. It was long after darkness had gathered around the camp. The strain on Doc Drummond's face was lighted by a small campfire to which Breed added chunks of wood from time to time. Dundee lay wrapped in a blanket. He leaned against a rock, and a heavy gun lay at his side. He spoke slowly, coldly.
Doc, we can't trust you. That's all.
Can't trust me? A doctor?
Nope. Doc, it's not that I'm afraid of being taken by the law. I could travel in spite of this wound. I could clear out of these hills and find plenty of other places to hide. I'm not afraid of your two-bit sheriff.
Then what are you afraid of?
My plans are made.
Plans?
I spent years perfecting those plans. They're complete to the last detail. I won't have them spoiled.
But I thought...
You know what I want?
How would I know?
I want Frontier Town.
What?
I said I want Frontier Town. I'm going to own that town. I
I'll make it the beginning of an empire.
Well, by Joe, you'll meet up with a downright stubborn lot of people. Folks in Frontier Town have no use for crooks of any sort. They've got no use for men that want an empire.
They'll accept whatever I want them to accept.
Fiddle-faddle. That's what you're talking. Fiddle-faddle.
Yes?
You're doggone right.
You say that because you see only 4 of us.
4 men taking over Frontier Town. Why, doggone my hide, Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor could handle any 2 of you. Single-handed.
There are more than 4, Doctor. Matter of fact, no less than 10 members of my organization at Frontier Town right now.
What?
Surprised, huh? Well, it's true. They've been there for several weeks. They hold responsible positions in your community. They're ready to act.
And they're boys.
Well?
We waste time with talk. Let us put the bullet through this one. Be rid of him.
Reed, we use bullets only as a last resort. It's a waste to kill men who can help us.
If you think I'd help you and your kind,
Oh,
well,
you will, Dr. Drummond. You'll be responsible for the health of my men. Official doctor, I might say.
Like blazes, I will. Go ahead and drill me. You'd better do it because I'll die before I'll help
Wait
us.
a minute. Before you go on, consider this fact. Your wife's life.
Matilda? Why, you ornery... What's that?
Someone's coming.
Over there.
Silver, will you take the polecat?
Get them.
No, you don't. Steady, Silver.
Lay into them. Cut me free. Cut me free and I can help.
Sheriff, behind you.
I get you. No, you don't. Try a knife, eh?
It was a furious battle of 2 men against 3 at hand-to-hand quarters. The Lone Ranger ducked and parried blow after blow, trying desperately to land a knockout punch that might reduce the odds. Dundee watched through cold eyes, too weak to rise and give a hand. He gripped his gun, but the combatants were moving too fast. A shot might get the wrong man.
Look out behind you.
I see him. I'll take care of you.
That's the stuff. That does it. Now the odds are equal. I'll fix you, Slater. Yeah? Look out. Dundee's got a gun.
All right, you missed. I'll take that gun.
That'll fix you. That's this one I got.
This'll take care of you.
That does it. You got them all.
Keep an eye on them 2, Gun.
Right.
I'll cut Doc Drummond free.
Sheriff, take these crooks to jail. They plan to take over the town.
Yeah, well, they'll change those plans mighty sudden.
Sheriff, the man on that blanket, his name is Dundee. Jake Dundee.
Dundee. Great day. He's wanted bad. Looks like the Powderhorn County Jail is going to get some visitors.
There you are, Doctor.
Thanks.
We can take Dundee in the doctor's wagon. We'll tie the rest and put them on their horses. Oh, where are the horses, Doctor?
Over that way, in a little gully.
Keep an eye on those men. I'll get them steady. Easy, big fella. One, Silver.
Much to the surprise of the sheriff and the doctor, Dundee grinned.
Well, I don't see what you've got to grin about, Dundee.
You will.
As soon as the masked man brings horses, you and these 3 crooks are going to jail.
We'll see about that, Sheriff.
Dundee had plans to take over Frontier Town.
Doc, Jim Keeler is one of the Dundee gang.
The gent working in the bank?
Yeah. Dundee shot Judge Knott so as Keeler could have things his own way.
Well, I can hear horses.
Sure you do. But they're my men.
Your men are hogtied right here.
3 of them are, Sheriff. Rest were deeper in the hills. You hear them coming?
What? Dundee,
You can't get me, Sheriff. My plans are too well made.
You ornery polecat, I ought to shoot you while I got the chance.
Why don't you do it? You've got a gun. Go on, shoot. You've got the nerve. You see? Your hands are tied. You're used to letting the courts mete out justice. You can't shoot me.
You dead right.
You thought you had us, but you haven't. The rest of my men are coming from the hills. I hear them. They're coming here to get all of you, including that masked man.
Sheriff, he's leaving us.
There goes your friend.
We'll make a stand without him.
We haven't a chance.
That's the masked man you counted on.
Doc, we'll fight as long as we can.
Well, that won't be long. Boys!
Hold fast, the law here.
I'll show you.
3 of Dundee's men were tied, but despite this, they threw themselves on the sheriff and Doc Drummond.
That's it, boys.
This'll stop you. Get away. Get off of me.
Before the sheriff could get his gun clear, the rest of the gang closed in.
Grab those 2. Get the gun.
Get ropes on those 2.
We got him, Dundee.
Looks like we came just in time.
Let me go and I'll show you. Just give me a chance to fight. I'm not scared of any odds.
Shut that lawman up.
You try and shut me up. That'll hold him.
Shut up, Doc. You'll get the same as the sheriff. You boys get Slade and the others untied.
I'll take care of him, Dundee.
What happened here?
Judge Knott winged me after I shot him. Slade went to town and got the doc for me.
You hurt bad?
No, just winged. I lost a lot of blood.
Where'd the sheriff come from?
He and a masked man trailed me here.
A masked man?
Yeah. He went for the horses. You boys rode in.
We saw a white horse traveling fast away from the gully. It was heading south.
It was the masked man, Carter. He knows too much. You've got to get him dead or alive.
We got the doc and the sheriff hawk-tied, Dundee.
All right, Slade. You and Carter and the others go get that masked man.
All of us?
Every one of you. I can guard the prisoners.
Dundee, you're wounded.
Not so bad I can't handle a gun. Do as I say. All of you spread out and find that masked man.
All right, Dundee. All right, let's go.
The gang had been gone for 15 minutes when Sheriff Taylor regained consciousness and learned that he and Doc Drummond were tightly tied and closely watched by Jake Dundee.
Now, don't try to get out of the rope, Sheriff, because if you do, I'll shoot.
Dundee, you won't get away with this. You'll be caught. When you go back to prison, you'll hang.
Me? Don't make me laugh.
Nothing to laugh at.
What the... It's the masked man.
I'll take that gun. No. Now you're not so big.
Great day, mister. Where did you come from?
I haven't been away. I sent my horse without a rider. Hold your hands out, Sheriff. I'll cut that rope, and you can free the doctor.
Well, this beats all. The whole gang is chasing you, and you're right here in Dundee's camp.
There, that does it, Sheriff.
Thanks. Give me the knife, and I'll do the rest. You watch Dundee.
Dundee, hanging is too good for anyone who'd murder a man like Judge Knott.
What? You mean Judge Knott is dead?
Dundee shot to kill.
Judge Knott dead? Well, that's mighty bad news. I'm downright sorry.
Have to rope you, Dundee. We can't take you with us.
Aren't you taking a chance?
Why can't we? Doc has his wagon.
Doc and I'll ride in the wagon, Sheriff. You have your horse.
Yes, but
when the others give up trying to catch my horse, they'll return. If we have help, we can catch them all.
Yeah, but Frontier Town's a long ways to go for help.
We can get help nearer than that. There. That'll hold you, Dundee. All right. You two ready to travel?
Yes, indeed we are.
The sooner we get started, the better.
The Lone Ranger guided Doc Drummond's team to a safe distance from Dundee's camp, then reined up.
Oh, hold on. Easy. Steady there.
Why are you stopping here?
Doc, you and the sheriff must hear my plan.
All right. What is it?
A number of men in Frontier Town are working with Dundee. They'll move when he gives the word. Before he could give that word, he had to kill Judge Knott.
Well, now that the judge is dead...
Dundee thinks the judge is dead. Actually, he's alive.
He is?
Now, Dundee may show his hand. Especially if he thinks we're dead.
What'll make him think that?
You'll find out when we ask Flying Arrow and his Indians to help us. All right, get up there.
Get up.
Come on.
Dundee lay tied for over an hour. Too weak to move from the camp, he could do nothing but wait and hope his men would return before the masked man. It was a great relief to see Carter, Slade, and the others ride in and dismount.
Carter, Slade, all of you, come here quick. Coming, boss. Get these ropes off me.
What happened? We didn't find that masked man.
Of course you didn't. He didn't leave with his horse.
What?
He stayed back. Right after you boys left, he came here and released our prisoners.
Hey, after the sheriff?
Yes, then he roped me.
We gotta get them back. They know too much.
They're coming back with men enough to take us. We've got to move fast. Slade, you and a few of the boys move me to the hideout in the hills.
Right.
Carter, you take the rest of the boys and try to find that masked man and the others.
I savvy.
Then set out toward Frontier Town.
We'll head that way.
We've got to find them.
Hey, boss. I hear Indians. Sounds like they're on the warpath.
I don't give a hang about the Indians. I want the doc, the sheriff, and the masked man. We can't take over the town until those three are dead.
Aided by Slade and a few of the other men, Dundee reached his hideout deep in the enchanted hills and slept until daybreak. He was wakened by Slade.
Hey, boss, wake up, boss. Wake up, boss.
Hey, what's your...
Wake up, Dundee. Wake up and hear the news. Carter and the rest came here a few minutes ago.
Carter, did they find the masked man? What about the sheriff?
Boss, we got nothing to worry about.
No? How's that? Speak up, Slade.
Well, remember when we heard the Indians on the warpath?
Yeah?
Well, they captured the doctor, the sheriff, and the masked man.
Slade, are you sure?
Oh, wait. Hey, Carter. Yeah? Come here and tell the boss what you told me.
Good news for you, Dundee.
What about those three you went out to find?
Well, we found the burned remains of Doc Drummond's wagon on the Overland Trail, between here and Whistling Springs Geyser.
What about the men?
We followed the trail till we reached a hill that overlooked the Indian village. We saw the three we were looking for. They were stretched out stiffer than ramrods, flat on their backs next to the contour fire.
Dead?
Sure thing. The Redskins were dividing the stuff from Doc Drummond's medicine kit and the rest of the things they'd taken.
Boss, with those three and Judge not dead, we're in the clear. We're all set to take over Frontier Town.
That's right, Slade. We're all set.
It was late afternoon when the Lone Ranger, disguised as a nondescript half-breed, reined up at the side of Judge Knott's house, dismounted, and rapped on the door. The door was opened by Henrietta, the judge's wife.
Buenos dias, senora.
Oh. What do you want?
You wonder perhaps why the judge has not returned, huh?
Oh, of course I do. He was to return yesterday. What do you know about him?
It is better I talk inside, no?
Oh, no. You can't come in.
A moment, please. The last time you saw me, I wore a mask.
Mask?
Yes. It was when we were trying to help Joe Jolly out of his trouble.
Remember a masked man? There is something familiar about your voice, but...
At the present time, this disguise is safer than a mask would be. Perhaps I can identify myself by this here.
What?
It's made of silver.
Yes, I see that it is. Why, you're the Lone Ranger. Please come in.
Thank you.
What do you know about my husband? Where is he?
He's in good hands and getting the best of care. You see, he was wounded.
Wounded?
Yes, a man named Dundee shot him from ambush.
Oh.
Now listen carefully, Mrs. Knott. Dundee has a gang. He plans to take over control of Frontier Town.
How can anyone do that?
It's an elaborate plan. Do you know Jim Keeler?
Yes, he works in my husband's bank.
Well, he's one of the gang. There are others working right here in town.
Oh, can't believe that.
Judge Knott discharged Jim Keeler before he left on his trip.
But Keeler is working in the bank right now.
He is because he doesn't expect the judge to return. Mrs. Knott, we have a plan to expose those crooks, but it will never work unless you help. You'll need courage. Lots of courage.
Just tell me how I can help. And count on me.
Good. Mrs. Knott, in a little while, an Indian will come into town leading your husband's horse. He will give the impression that he found the judge dead and buried him.
Oh, but he's not really dead.
No, but you must act as if he were.
Oh.
More than that, you must tell the wife of Sheriff Taylor and the wife of Dr. Drummond that they're to act as if their own husbands were dead.
Oh, where are the sheriff and the doctor?
They're alive and well. That's all I can tell you.
Oh, I see.
Tell their wives to be brave. No matter what they see or hear, they're to take no action.
I'll tell them.
Good. I'll depend on you.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. continue our story. It was later the same day when Tonto rode into Frontier Town leading a riderless horse. He moved slowly past the wood chopper's house, Slim's saddle shop, and the Bright Lights Cafe, where a group of men were gathered on the porch.
Easy, Scout.
He could hear the comments.
Easy.
Hey, that's Judge Knott's horse. You and that. There's the judge's saddlebags with his name on it. Look at the empty saddle. The boots headed for the saddle. Empty boots, empty saddle. See what's up to the judge.
Tonto turned to the right of the courthouse square, passing between the town meeting house and the Powderhorn County Courthouse. He passed the sheriff's office, then turned left to Judge Knott's house, where Henrietta waited, watching from the veranda.
Oh, Scout. Oh, fella. Oh, fella.
Sakes alive.
Me bring horse and saddlebag.
That's my husband's horse. Where's the judge? Where's Judge Knott?
You hear from friend?
Oh, yes, Tonto. Your masked friend was here in disguise. I've been expecting you.
Judge say you not worry. Him come home soon.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, look. Nearly everyone in town is coming here.
Now, they fella see horse.
There's Jim Keeler.
You know what to say.
Yes, I know.
Me go now. Get him up, Scout.
Mrs. Knott, that's the judge's horse. What happened? Yeah, where's the judge? Who's that Indian?
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. I can't talk about it.
Is the judge dead? What happened to him?
Please, don't ask me questions. I don't know what I'll do. It'd be bad enough if he were brought in dead. Just think of him buried by an Indian out on the plains. Not even a stone to mark his grave.
The townspeople gathered around the judge's wife, asking questions and offering help and sympathy. In the meantime, Carter had entered Frontier Town. He stood next to Jim Keeler, who worked in the bank. The two were slightly apart from those who surrounded Henrietta Knott.
Now, Keeler, get this straight. You've got until tomorrow morning to let the people know you can foreclose the mortgages.
Carter, that doesn't give me much time.
I said tomorrow morning. Dundee wants to act right away. And by the way, he has you slated to be the new sheriff.
New sheriff? What about Two-Gun Taylor?
Slade will come here tomorrow morning with some news that'll call for a new sheriff.
I savvy.
Now that the judge is gone, who run the bank?
There's your chance. Tell him who'll run the bank.
I got cash in the bank. I want to know what happened.
Boys, I can answer that. Don't worry about your money in the bank. I'll take over the reins at the Ranchers National Bank and carry on in the best traditions of the banking business. Furthermore, in my capacity as our beloved judge's chief assistant, I deem it my duty to assist Mrs. Knott in any way possible. Now, all of you clear out. Go on about your business.
Mrs. Knott, I'll take the judge's horse to the livery stable for you.
Mrs. Knott, I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, Mr. Keeler, I don't know where to turn or what to do. This is shocking news.
I'm sure it is. I want you to know that you're to count on me for any help I can give you. I'll handle all of the business matters.
Oh, I'll appreciate that, Mr. Keeler.
Just leave everything to me. I'll conduct the bank affairs to the best of my ability.
That evening, Jim Keeler started off with a list of everyone who had a mortgage with the bank. He went first to the home of Spike Williams, who made a scanty living selling wood.
Now, hold on, Mr. Keeler. Mrs. Knott has something to say about running the bank.
She has nothing to say. My contract gives me the authority to do as I think best in the interest of the bank.
But you can't foreclose my mortgage. It's been standing for 7 years.
It should have been foreclosed long ago.
But the judge said he'd let it ride as long as they kept the interest paid up.
The judge is dead. From now on, people who owe money to the bank will have to pay.
But they can't pay.
That's up to you, Williams. You can't pay, I'll have to foreclose the mortgage and sell your place for whatever it'll bring.
Well, I won't have no place to live.
I'm sorry. If you can't afford to live in Frontier Town, you'll have to move. That's the final word.
But wait. Listen,
I can't waste any more time. I have other people to see.
From Spike Williams' home, Keeler went next door to call on Slim Peabody, who owned the saddle shop.
I'm sorry, Peabody, but business is business. We can't operate the bank successfully unless we insist on the payment of mortgages that are past due.
He called on Lucky Brewster, owner of the Grub Stake Outfitting Store.
Well, I could pay you if I could collect all that's owed me. Dad Raddick Keeler, I keep myself broke giving credit to people here in Frontier Town.
That's your worry, Brewster.
Dad Raddick, Judge Knott said I didn't have to worry about the mortgage.
I'm running the bank now. Unless the mortgages are paid, I'll foreclose.
It was a long list that Keeler took with him when he called on those who had been backed by the Ranchers National Bank. The list included Milo Phillips, owner of the Southwest Bugles.
Past due, Phillips. You've got to pay.
Cactus John, who ran the blacksmith shop, and Barney Harper, owner of the livery stable.
I'll give you 48 hours to raise the money. No longer.
Ma Henry, owner of the Sunset Hotel, was shocked beyond measure, and when Wash Perkins saw that he could lose his grist mill, he was beside himself with anger.
Of all the concern, money-grabbing pole...
Never mind the names. Just get the cash.
Get the cash, he says. Where in Tucket can I get cash of that kind? It's the meanest doggone deal I ever heard.
And there was Ben Holliday, who owned the gunsmith shop, and Tom Tyler, the locksmith, and the Bascom's at the Range Riders Inn, and old Sam and many others. A lot of people spent a sleepless night after Keeler had finished his call. Crowds gathered in the courthouse square the following morning to discuss the turn of events.
I'll be broke.
Me, too. I'll have to leave Frontier Town.
It's not right, dadgummit. Why does a man like Judge not have to get killed while termites like Keeler's pay all the living?
He'd give me a little more time, I'd pay every cent owed. But I don't have that kind of cash on hand.
Neither do I. None of us have. Judge Knott told me not to work.
I told me the same.
Jim Keeler stood inside the bank looking at the crowd while Carter sat at a table making a list of names.
I'm sure an unpopular man around town right now. Look at them, Carter. They're all talking about me.
Never mind that. Before night, you'll be one of the biggest men in town.
If nothing goes wrong.
It won't. Slade is on the way here now with news about the sheriff. That's when you go out and talk to the people. Yeah, here's a list of names.
Let's see it.
When you get to be sheriff, you're going to make each of these men a special deputy.
Here's a fellow working in the newspaper office. Clerk over at the courthouse, the caretaker at the meeting house, a barkeep in the Bright Lights Cafe. None of these men got themselves in pretty good spots, didn't they?
Yeah, spots where they'll be mighty handy after we take things over.
Hey, look over there.
Now, that's Slade. He's riding in with news. You better step outside, Keeler, and be ready to make your announcement.
Right.
Hey, boys, all of you, listen to me. I got news, bad news, about the sheriff, two-gun taser.
Where is he? We haven't seen him for a couple of days.
Deals with Doc Drummond as well as the sheriff. They're both dead. Came here the other day to get Doc Drummond to help a friend of mine who's been hurt. Later on, the sheriff left town to find Doc Drummond. He did find him, with me. Then Indians.
Indians?
Slade's doing a pretty good job.
I got away. Yeah. I had to pass his horse. The sheriff and Doc Drummond weren't so lucky with him.
Sheriff Drummond? We're all together.
And Doc Drummond, too. Oh, that's terrible news. We've got no sheriff.
Listen to me, boys. Quiet down. Gents, the news of our sheriff's death is a blow to all of us. But we must take immediate steps so Frontier Town is not without a custodian of law and order. We must elect a new sheriff without delay.
Well, how about you, Mr. Keeler? You be the new sheriff.
Who's talking?
I am.
You only been in town a few months. What do you got to say?
One moment. I appreciate the confidence a few of you have in me. I can understand the opposition of the rest of you. You're angry because I considered it my duty to protect the best interests of the bank by insisting on payment of past due mortgages. Now, wait a minute, gentlemen, wait a minute. Many things may be changed by Sheriff Taylor's sudden death. Though it never occurred to me to accept the post of sheriff, I might say that if I had that authority, I'd be able to safeguard the bank without resorting to foreclosure.
You mean to say if we make you sheriff, you won't foreclose on mortgages?
If I had the authority that goes with the sheriff's office, I'd be able to continue Judge Knott's policy of running the bank. Now, I suggest a town meeting and an immediate election to fill the post of sheriff.
Mr. Keeler!
Yes, Mrs. Knott. I didn't see you in the group.
I'm sure if you were sheriff, you'd appoint new deputies. I think we have a right to know who those men would be.
I have certain men in mind. Because of my position in the bank, I'm familiar with the background of these men.
Well, who are they?
Bart Dexter, who's been working in the newspaper office. Hartford, a clerk. Brooksville, Roxbury, Westbrook, Branford, Oakdale, Wyndham, and Baker. All reputable men.
Boys, all of you.
Mr. Sheriff, he's there.
Hey, where'd he come from?
You bet I'm back. I've been standing in back at the door of the meeting house for the past hour.
What?
And Doc Drummond's been with me.
Doc Drummond? Gee, there he is. I see.
Gents, there's been a big plot to take over Frontier Town. That critter Slade is in on it. So's that man. His name is Carter.
No.
Go for a gun and I'll blow your arm off. Now, Keeler's a crook. And every one of the men he's named is a crook. They're all under arrest.
You'll be sorry for that, Sheriff. Even though I can't have your job, I'll make you eat those words. I'll break this town.
Oh, no, you won't, Jim Keeler.
I'll foreclose every mortgage.
You do no such thing.
Don't forget I have a contract.
You violated that contract before my husband left town. You were discharged. You're not working for the bank.
Who says so?
My husband.
What? Huh?
Why, he's no more dead than Sheriff Taylor or Dr.
what's
Drummond.
that?
And if you want to see him, look up there in the window of the courtroom.
He's
wounded, but he's getting well.
Boys, there's going to be no foreclosed mortgages while Judge Knott's alive. And he is alive.
Well, he won't be. Oh, Slade, get your gun.
Don't try it. There'll be more broken arms.
The masked man, look there on the white horse.
The modest deputies are in the courthouse and the meeting house. They have guns and they're prepared to shoot if anyone makes trouble.
Now, boys, we've got some critters to jail. You heard the names. Every one of them come into town and got a job preparing to help crooks take over Frontier Town. We'll march them to jail. Keeler along with them. Then I'll tell you all how Frontier Town was saved. Saved when that masked man suggested that me and Doc Drummond and Judge Knott play possum. And wait till you hear how we were helped by Flying Arrow and his engine. Yes, sirree, boys. Those engines are on the side of the Lone Ranger.
A short train consisting of locomotive, tender, one car, and caboose moved south along the spur line of the Union Pacific that ran east of Frontier Town. The Enchanted Hills rose to the right of Engineer Fireball Murphy, while on his left flowed the Powderhorn River. The train slowed as it crossed the Overland Trail, and a minute later came to a halt near Rimrock Bridge, while Milo Phillips, publisher of the Southwest Bugle, stood waiting.
Fireball Murphy!
Hi there, Milo.
Hey, I haven't seen you on this run for a long time.
Well, glad to see you again. Wait till I get down from the cab.
Hey, you've been working out of Omaha, haven't you?
Well, I have been. But the big boys wanted a man with experience on this run. So I'm back.
I'm glad to see you again.
Same, Milo. Say, how's that Beanery Queen over in Happy Jack's restaurant?
Oh.
You know that cute little dark-eyed senorita?
Rosita, she's fine. Every so often she asks when Mr. Senor Fireball Murphy comes through.
Rosita's all right. She's a fine girl.
Yeah.
Hope I can stop off and see her sometime.
Oh, did you bring any mail, Fireball?
Oh, yeah. Hank, toss out that Frontier Town sack.
Come in.
You postmaster as well as publisher now?
No. Sam's laid up, so I came to get the mail for him. This is the day my out-of-town newspapers arrive.
Yeah, here's the Omaha paper. Maybe you'd like to look her over.
Yes.
A lot of crime running loose these days. I understand you've had some around here.
That's right. Jake Dundee's hanging out not far from Frontier Town.
I thought Two-Gun Taylor nailed his gang.
Well, the sheriff got some of them, but most of the gang is still up in the hills somewhere.
I don't know Dundee, but I know the coyote that broke out of Territorial with him.
Yep. Who's that?
Slim Northcott.
I remember reading about Northcott. They call him the scourge of the Union Pacific.
Yeah, the scourge is right. That crook made all kinds of trouble when we were laying the tracks to Promontory Point. He's worse than Dundee.
Dundee's bad enough for me.
Well, I got to shove on, Milo. It's been good to see you.
Yeah.
Don't forget to give my regards to Rosita.
Oh, I'll tell her. So long to you.
So long, Milo. Come on, you diamond packers. Stroke that coffee pot. We've got to beat her on the back and make some time. Adios, Milo.
Adios.
Fireball Murphy and the Union Pacific train moved on, while Milo Phillips returned to the center of town, thinking of the outlaws who were hidden somewhere in Powderhorn County, the Dundee gang. In the meantime, Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor talked to a masked man who sat in his office.
Sheriff, I have nothing but failure to report.
Strikes me you've already done more than your share to protect Frontier Town. Oh, wait a minute.
Sure.
Come in.
Sheriff, you sent me to bring Jim Keeler. Here.
Send him in, Joe. You can wait outside.
Go on, Keeler.
Well,
Keeler, you know the masked man here. You should.
Yes, I should.
Keeler's the man I told you about.
Oh?
He's the only one of the prisoners that's willing to turn state's evidence.
See.
Well, go on, Keeler. Tell this man the story you told me.
Now, listen, Sheriff, I told you that in confidence. Slade or Carter or the rest of them find out I told
They
you...
won't find out through this man.
Go ahead, Keeler.
Now, tell him why Dundee wanted Frontier Town.
Dundee and a lot of his men are wanted by the law in other places. They figured if they owned this town and had their own judge and lawman, they could fix things so the lawmen in other counties couldn't touch them.
How?
If anyone came for them, they'd just step into the jail here in Powderhorn County and say they were doing a long term.
So that was their plan. What do you think of it, Sheriff?
I think he's telling the truth. He's given me a list of the men in Dundee's gang. Most of them are wanted by the law.
That's so?
Yeah, I got a file of handbills that have been sent out from time to time. I've gone through that file, and there's reward notices in almost every member of the Dundee gang. The ones, I mean, that are still at large.
How many are there?
How many, Keeler?
20.
Where are they hiding?
I don't know.
Keeler, if you do know, you'll be smart to speak up.
I said I didn't know, and that's the truth. I had nothing to do with the men who were in hiding. My part of the plan was to come to Frontier Town with forged credentials and get a job in Judge Knott's bank.
Who knows where the hideout is?
Slade. And so does Carter.
They're both in jail.
They won't talk?
Not a word. By thunder, I'd give anything to round up the rest of that gang. Just a minute. Keeler, get over there against the wall. Who is it? Oh, come on in, Rosita. This is the grub for the prisoners.
Buenos dias.
Hello there, Rosita.
Oh, that hombre, he's mad.
It's all right, Rosita. He's a friend of mine. I guess he's a friend of the whole town. Well, now let's see what you've got in the basket here.
You need have no fear of guns or knives, senor. I packed the basket myself.
Well, I'll just have a look at things to make sure no one is smuggling weapons or tools into those prisoners. Looks all right to me. Hey, Joe, come in here.
Right.
Take Keeler back and lock him up. And take Rosita and the prisoner's food over.
Right. Come on, Keeler.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take that basket, Rosita. Looks pretty heavy.
Never before have we fed so many prisoners at one time.
Rosita works over in Happy Jack's restaurant.
She used to be trusted.
Rosita? Well, I should say so. I'd trust her with my life.
How about Happy Jack?
Trust him, too. If you were thinking that someone might slip a gun or a key into those prisoners with their food, you needn't worry about Rosita or Happy Jack.
I was thinking of something else.
You say that as if you had an idea.
Perhaps I have. Sheriff, you have a cell right in back of your office here.
Yeah, that's right. We used to use that before we built the Powderhorn County Jail.
The jail is quite crowded, isn't it?
Sure it is. Why?
It would relieve the crowd if one of the prisoners were locked in there. One of the ringleaders like Slade or Carter.
Curious that you mention the same two men Keeler spoke of.
Not curious. It's intentional. Keeler said those men knew where the rest of the Dundee gang is hiding.
Mister, if you have an idea, you can count on me to go with you to the end of the trail. What's on your mind?
Well, sometime late this afternoon, a man who looks like a Mexican caballero is going to start an argument in the Bright Lights Cafe. Now, you'll have to arrest him for disturbing the peace. You'll have to bring him in and lock him up in the cell in the back of your office. It would be a good idea if you'd handcuff him to the prisoner who is already there.
Namely, Slade or Carter?
Namely, Slade or Carter. You'll have to ask Rosita to cooperate. She'll know the man as Don Miguel.
Well, I'll bet 2-1 that underneath Don Miguel's jacket, he'll be packing a gun belt with silver bullets. And underneath his dark complexion, there'll be the face that's covered right now by a mask. Go ahead, Mr. Don Miguel. Tell me some more. I'm interested.
From the office of Sheriff Two Gun Taylor, the Lone Ranger rode directly to the small camp where Tonto was waiting.
You come plenty fast, Kimasabi.
There'll be a lot of trouble if we don't find Jake Dundee and the rest of his gang.
Crooks plenty well hidden.
I've thought of a plan that may help.
And what me do?
Loosen that cinch while I unpack some clothes.
I know it, dear. Steady there, Silver. Steady, fella.
I have some fancy clothing here. The sort of caballero might wear.
You
fix this guy?
Yes, Tonto, and it must be perfect. They'll have to stand up under very close observation. This is what I'm after. The wrinkles will fall out when I've worn it a little while.
You'll have to take off mask.
Yes, and I'll darken my skin.
You take guns?
No, I'll go unarmed.
Oh, that's not good.
I'll count on you, Tonto, to have my guns on hand when I need them. Come over to the flat rock while I take off this mask and stain my face. I'll outline the plan and tell you what you're to do.
What are our plans?
I'll call myself Don Miguel. As soon as possible, I'll go into the Bright Lights Cafe and start an argument. Now, before it goes very far, the
Two-Gun Taylor was the only customer in Happy Jack's restaurant. He sat near the door with a cup of coffee. The pretty, dark-eyed waitress sat with him at the table.
All right, Rosita. I talked to Happy Jack about you. He said he'd be willing for you to help me.
What can I do, Senor Sheriff?
Now, here's the point. There'll be a man in town in a little while. He'll be known as Don Miguel.
I knew one named Don Miguel in Santa Obispo.
No, you don't know this hombre. But you're to make out like you were old friends. You savvy that?
Si, senor.
In fact, you might make out like you loved him a little.
He's old, perhaps, and fat like the pig.
Oh, not by a jugful. He's young and lean and handsome as a bright shawl.
Oh, and I love him perhaps a little, eh? He knows my name?
Oh, he'll know your name, all right. And he'll act like he's known you for a long time. Now, here's the point. He'll get into a fight in the Bright Lights Cafe.
This fight?
Yeah, that's what I said. He gets into a fight, and I'll have to break it up and throw him in jail.
Now, see here, stranger.
I do not like to be called stranger. Please call me Don Miguel.
All right, Don Miguel or whatever your name is. You needn't think you can come to the cafe and run down our kind of law. I'm Two-Gun Taylor's deputy, and I'm telling
you call him Two-Gun. It proves I am right. The weapon is the law, not the man.
Why,
I carry no gun.
It'll probably dirty them fancy clothes of yours.
Cowards and outlaws carry the gun.
You're calling me coward? What?
I shall prove it, senor. You see, I slap your face.
Why, you...
There, you see, you reach for your gun. You draw the gun against one who is unarmed.
Mister, I won't draw on you, but I am going to return that slap, and with interest.
You mean?
I'll get you.
No, do it like this.
Oh! I'll get you. I'll show you can't slap me around.
Hey, what's going on here? Break it up. The sheriff. Joe got slapped. The dude started it.
I saw you slap a deputy. What's the idea? Who are you?
You may call me Don Miguel.
He slapped me to see if I'd pull a gun.
Joe, I won't have my men swinging fists. Either leave him alone or jail him.
Jail me? You cannot jail me.
Oh, yes, we can. Assaulting an officer will hold you for 10 days.
I refuse to go to your jail. Huh?
Well, Joe, he needs time to think over what respect for the law means. Here. See this gun? Take him in, Joe.
Thanks, Sheriff. Come on, you.
No. I refuse to go.
Joe, throw him in to keep Slade company. The room off the sheriff's office.
Come on, Don Miguel. Travel.
No, I refuse to go to your seat.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. to continue our story. Disguised as a reckless young Mexican and calling himself Don Miguel, the Lone Ranger picked a fight with a sheriff's deputy in the Bright Lights Cafe. He resisted arrest, but to no avail. He was taken to a prison cell adjoining the office of Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor. Slade had already been moved to that cell.
You cannot do this. I will not stand for it.
Get in there. Looks like I got company.
Stand back with your gun, Joe. Keep Slade covered in case he tries a fast move.
Right.
You are not going to handcuff me.
No. You guess again.
Well, Sheriff, this is outrageous.
Save your breath, Miguel. I'm hooking you to the other prisoner. Give me your hand, Slade.
What's the matter? Don't you trust your lock?
That'll hold both of you.
He thinks that I, Don Miguel, have to be jailed like a common thief, handcuffed to one like this. It is the insult. It is the slap in the face.
You ought to know all about slaps in the face. Oh, one thing more, Miguel.
See?
The prisoners get fed regular, and it's good food. It's sent over from Happy Jack's restaurant. Now, if you look down your nose at it, thinking ordinary food is beneath your notice, you're going to get downright hungry.
Oh, so?
Come on, Joe. We'll turn in a report on this arrest.
So your name's Miguel, huh?
You think I'm thrown in here like this, handcuffed to one like you?
All right, if I can stand it, I reckon you should be able to. Who are you, anyhow?
You are the sheriff. Call me Don Miguel.
My name's Slade. Why are you in the calaboose?
I come here to Frontier Town. I hope to see the senorita. Well, I go to the cafe to wait until she finished with her work.
I ask you why you were jugged.
These lawmen, they say I assaulted deputy. I did nothing but slap his face.
You did?
No, they'll not keep me here for long. I show them. I will find a way to escape.
You better change that tune, mister. I found out it's not easy to bust out of the Frontier Town lockup.
You will see. I will find a way. I have friends.
So have I, but they're not any help to me right now. Oh, here's our supper.
Oh, it is Rosita.
You know her?
Rosita Carissimo, you come here.
Miguel, I hear that you're in the jail. Oh, mio Carissimo.
Hey, you got our supper?
Miguel, have no fear. Si. I will see that you escape from this terrible place. Caramba, what is this? You are handcuffed.
Oh, Rosita, I must get out of here. I cannot stand this place. I who love freedom, I, Don Miguel, who must have the great open spaces, cannot stand being in the jail.
Miguel, I can get the key to this door. But it is no good, the handcuffs.
A key, you say? Rosita, can you do that?
Si, amigo mio. I can take it from the pocket of the deputy. I can throw it through the window tonight when it is dark.
Oh, Rosita, you are wonderful. You get the key. I will find a way to get rid of these handcuffs.
But what about a horse? Yours is at the livery stable. You dare not go there.
Oh, do not worry. We will find horses. You get for us the key. We will do the rest.
Bueno. Here, take this fruit.
Gracias.
Tonight at midnight, you leave.
Through the long evening, Slade did his best to learn more about his cellmate, but the Lone Ranger had little to say. He spent most of his time trying in vain to pick the lock of the handcuffs and muttering about the injustice of his arrest. Then, as the hour of midnight approached, he gave up in disgust.
These things.
I don't see how he expected to open them without a key.
Even with light, it would be hard. But to do it in the dark and with so little time.
So little time. You've been at it since we finished supper.
But now there is little time. It is close to the hour.
Hey, Miguel. You really think that girl's going to toss us a key like she promised?
Rosita has given her word.
Yeah, but to get a key to this calaboose...
I trust Rosita.
Look here, Miguel.
See?
You can't leave here without me.
Oh, I could if it were not for these things.
Well, you're wearing them. There's no getting around it. If you leave, you'll have to take me with you. And you needn't take it that way.
To think that I, Don Miguel, will be fastened to one like you.
Before the night's over, you may find that I'm a good man to know. Now listen to me.
See?
I got some friends on the outside. They don't dare come into town. But if I could get to them, they'd go all out to help me. They'll have these iron bracelets off of us in no time at all.
Yeah, I have no choice. I must go with you to your friends.
Now you're talking.
But, senor, this must be understood. After I am free, I go my own way. I do not wish to associate with you or your kind.
That's all right, Miguel. You won't have to associate with me or my kind.
Senor.
It is Rosita outside that window. Come. Rosita. Rosita Carissima.
I am here, Miguel.
The key. You have it?
See, I tossed it through the window. Stand back.
Ready? I heard it. I will have it in one moment. Dark here. I find it one moment. I have it. Good. Come on. See if it'll open the door. Let's get out of here. Stand still, Senor Slade. Can you get her? Does it fit? I heard something. The lock is open. That's the ticket. Now, if we can just get through the outer door. I don't think they keep that one locked at all. Well, no, it is open. Come on. We're free.
No, senor.
Don't worry about the handcuffs. We'll be rid of them in a little while.
Miguel, you are free.
But, Rosita, what about you? The deputy will suspect you. Oh, here is the key.
Gracias, senor. Do not worry, Carrito. I will return the key to him so that he will not even know I have borrowed it. Now listen, amigo.
Si.
I have borrowed a buckboard and a team of horses.
Es posible.
I have put it over there. You see it?
See.
It was left in front of the restaurant by a rancher who came into town.
A buckboard. With us handcuffed, that's even better than horses would be. Let's get traveling.
At once. We will go to these friends of yours who will file off these handcuffs.
A powerful team and a strong buckboard had been left for the Lone Ranger. With Slade handcuffed at his side, the disguised man drove at a steady gait through Sagebrush Hollow and deep into the Enchanted Hills. Slade directed the course through many valleys until he reached a desolate spot where Jake Dundee and a score of outlaws were camped. Dundee put one of the men to work on the handcuffs.
Come on, hurry up there. Been filing away on that handcuff for over an hour.
I'm doing the best I can, Dundee. This is the toughest steel I ever tried to cut through.
Ouch! Be careful of my wrist, will you?
I'm sorry, Slade.
The rest of the boys are counting on you, Dundee.
I'll get them out of that calaboose. You needn't worry.
You got a squealer among them.
Yeah? Who?
Keeler. The sheriff locked me up in a special cell, and I heard some talk. Enough to know that Keeler squealed.
Well, I'll deal with him.
The rest of the boys are keeping their mouths shut. But Keeler's told all about your plans to take over Frontier Town. Look, how soon do you figure on busting them out of jail?
Oh, 3 or 4 days.
Hey, as long as that?
I've been waiting for the right time. I've got a few cards up my sleeve.
Oh, you have, huh?
That's what I said.
Well, what are they?
I'm not telling just yet. How are you coming with those handcuffs?
Well, they're most off.
Are you through?
Just let me get a grip now. Think I can break her. It's pinned, isn't it? There.
Free at last. Now, Miguel, you're disconnected from the company you didn't like.
Si, senor. And now I take the
Not
horse.
so fast.
Yeah?
That's a pretty good team you brought here, Miguel. I think maybe we can use it.
Oh, but...
Yes,
all
we
right.
can use the horses. That's more than I can say about you. We don't need you in the outfit.
Senor, I have no intention...
You've learned about our hideout. I can't let you go. Being as I can't use you, I reckon there's only one thing to do.
What, I do not understand.
Oh, yes, you do.
Stay where you are. Don't try to back away from here. You're not going to get the chance to make a sudden break.
So, you do not intend to let me go, huh?
That's about the size of it.
I haven't got a gun, boss. If you let me take yours, I'll take care of this dude.
You can take my gun, Slade.
All right, let's have it.
So, you will murder me in cold blood, huh?
Hey, what was that?
What's the matter? You nervous, Slade? That's just a night bird.
No, senor. That is where you make the big mistake. It was not a bird of the night.
Well, maybe you know more than I do, huh?
I tell you what it was. My friends, they are near here. They will not let you shoot me.
Now, what kind of a bluff is that?
You think it is a bluff, huh? Perhaps you think it is a bluff when I say my friends will throw the gun to me as soon as I raise my hand.
Hey, boss, I don't like the way this critter's talking.
No, I show you.
Hey, look!
Hey, look out. That does it. Why you... Boys! We'll shoot to kill. Look, Joe. It's the sheriff. It's the law. I got one of them.
You're through, Slade.
My arm, bust
Now, wait, don't shoot. I surrender.
Tell your men to throw down their guns.
You heard them, boys. Throw down your guns.
Don't shoot anymore. All right, get them rope, boys. Every one of them. The jail is crowded, but we can always make room for the rest of the gang. And I reckon there's other jails that'll be glad to help us out.
No jail can hold me.
That's big talk, Dundee, but you can't back it up.
Sorry I had to break your arm, Slade, but you were aiming at my head.
Well, you... Hey, you're no Mex.
There's no longer any need to talk like Don Miguel.
Just who are you?
Well, that's a good question, Slade. You see, this man planned the whole scheme, starting with a fight that lodged him in jail. We figured you'd bring him someplace to get rid of the handcuffs, so we just tagged along.
Slade, you're a fool.
Oh, now, don't take it too hard, Dundee. Better men than you have been outwitted by this gent. Yeah, I've taken a handcuff off.
Thanks, Sheriff. Otto, did you bring Silver?
Him over here.
Be glad to get this makeup off my face.
Hey, that voice is familiar.
It ought to be, Dundee. You heard that man before when he outwitted your gang. He was wearing a mask the last time you saw him.
A mask?
That's right.
So. Well, we'll meet again. And the next time I meet him, he won't outwit me.
You're not meeting anybody, Dundee, except the guards around the jail.
Sheriff, just remember this. I'll be out of jail inside of a week. And my men will be out with me.
Dundee knew that help was on the way. He knew that Slim Northcott and a powerful gang would soon reach the vicinity. And thinking of them, he made a vow as he sat in prison.
As soon as I get out, the first man I kill will be the Lone Ranger.
Two Gun Taylor and Matt Miller had been friends since their days in the Army. The friendship had continued after both had settled in Frontier Town to maintain law and order. Matt Miller had become the United States Marshal, and Two Gun Taylor the sheriff. It was around noon 3 days after the capture of the Dundee gang when Matt called at Two Gun's office.
Dad ratted. I never in my life had so much on my mind.
What's the trouble, Two Gun?
Huh? Oh, Matt. Matt, maybe you can help me.
Well, you act like you're blowing off steam.
Yeah, it's that Dundee gang. The whole kit and caboodle of them in my jail. It'll bust the whole county with their fee bill.
Well, maybe this letter will be good news.
What is it?
I got busy when you brought that gang in and wrote to marshals and other places. Over half of Dundee's men are wanted.
Oh, then they'll be taken off my hands? That's good.
And by the way, there'll be some reward money.
Well, the Lone Ranger gets that. At least he should.
That's your masked friend?
Yeah, that's right. If it wasn't for him, Dundee would own Frontier Town by this time.
Isn't he the one who posed as that young Mexican?
The same. In fact, the last time I saw him, he was dressed as Don Miguel. That was up in the Enchanted Hills when we corralled Dundee's outfit.
You haven't seen him since?
No, Dad ratted, and I want to see him. So does Judge Knott and Doc Drummond and Milo Phillips and Lawyer Westcott. I can name a score of others who want to thank him for what he did.
Two Gun, I don't think you'll ever see him again.
What? What do you mean by that, Matt? Not see him again? What a great day.
He's got a way of disappearing when his job is done. He don't like to stay around, hear a lot of senseless talk. People thanking him and all.
What doggone it, Matt?
Oh, by the way, Two Gun, did you hear any of Dundee's outfit mention the Scourge?
Yeah, what?
The Scourge. The Scourge of the Union Pacific, he's called. It's a critter named Slim Northcott.
Oh, never heard of him.
Well, he's bad medicine. He broke out of the territorial prison with Jake Dundee. Marshal Blake is asking about him.
Well, we might talk to Dundee, but I don't think it'll do any good. He's not giving information to anyone. Hey, look.
Well, what's the matter?
Over there, across the road in front of the Grub Steak Outfitting store. Come on.
Well, hold on, Two Gun.
That Indian just coming out of the store. Hey, you, Tonto! Tonto, doggone it, I'm glad to see you.
How, Sheriff?
Yeah, shake hands with Matt Miller, the United States Marshal. Matt, this is Tonto, the pal of the Lone Ranger.
Well, I'm mighty glad to know you, Tonto.
Me glad.
Where in tarnation have you and your friend been hiding for these past 3 days? Been waiting to see the two of you. This town is ready to have the biggest all-fired blowout you ever saw in honor of the Lone Ranger.
Well, me go now.
Oh, like fun you're going.
Well, me leave 2 horses at Harvey House barn. Get saddlebags filled with oats. Me go.
Now, see here, Tonto. You've got to tell us where your friend is.
The Lone Ranger got good hideout in hills. You never find him. Him wait there.
He's waiting till you get back?
That's right.
And me go now. It's plenty long way to hill.
Well, I reckon I can't hold you against your will. I'd sure like to see the Lone Ranger, and so would everybody else in Frontier Town.
Adios, Sheriff.
Adios.
The jail was too crowded to hold all the prisoners, so Jake Dundee and his lieutenant named Slade were held behind a barred door in a room off the sheriff's office. Slade chuckled as the lawman left to speak to Tonto.
You hear what the marshal said about Slim Northcott, Dundee?
How could I help you, hang it? Slade, they're going to meet Slim all right, only not the way they want to.
Well, I don't see what good Northcott will do us. He'll get to the meeting place in the hills and won't find no one there. He won't know what become of us.
He'll know. He'll come storming into this town and break us out of jail. Then we'll help him take things over. We can do it, too. There'll be over 100 of us all told.
Dundee, he seems sure that Slim will know about us.
You remember that squint-eyed critter that was in here talking to the sheriff a couple hours ago?
Yeah, he was looking for a job as a deputy. What about him?
He didn't want a job as a deputy. He was here to find out about me. Didn't you see me catch his eye and wink?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, I did. And he'll report to Slim Northcott before night. And before morning, I think we'll be on the other side of these bars, throwing around more hot lead than Frontier Town ever saw. Just one thing that I regret.
What's that?
I wish the Lone Ranger was here.
You've got a score to settle with him.
Yes, and I'm not the only one. It's the Lone Ranger that sent Slim Northcott to jail. Slim would be mighty pleased to get that masked man. He's marked for death, along with the rest of the critters in Frontier Town.
The Lone Ranger had a secret hideout in the Enchanted Hills. The entrance was small and obscured by dense underbrush. Beyond that entrance, a tunnel led to a cavernous grotto. It was here that the masked man waited with his saddlebags and other gear for Tonto to return from Frontier Town with supplies. He had built a small fire to prepare a meal, and the place was filled with a fragrant aroma of frying bacon and wood smoke. The meal was finished when the masked man heard approaching hoots.
Someone's reined up outside.
He knew it wasn't Tonto returning with Gulf and Silver. There were more than 2 horses in the group.
What's the matter, Lefty?
Lefty. Northcott.
The name was well known to him. He remembered the time when Northcott had tried to interfere with the building of the Union Pacific. He quickly emptied his canteen on the fire. But even as he did so, he wondered if a smell of smoke and food would betray his hiding place.
Northcott finds me here. I'll have to do something and fast.
What's the matter, Lefty? Oh, it looks as if you've been riding hard.
Yeah, I have been. I got news about Jake Dundee.
Hear that, boys? Lefty says he has news of Dundee.
Well, where is he? Speak up. We've been combing these hills for him.
Well, you needn't bother combing the hills any longer. Turn around and get back to the shack. You'll hear all about him.
How come?
Don't ask me no questions, Northcott. Just turn your horse the other way and get back to the cabin. You'll find out why Dundee and the boys weren't there to meet us.
And some of the boys are way off yonder. I'll fire a couple of shots and bring him in. We'll all go back together.
They heard you. They're coming.
Good.
I'd like to know what about Dundee.
I couldn't give you much of the details if I wanted to. Squint can tell all about him. He knows the whole story. Now what?
What's the matter, Lefty?
Hey, boss. I smell cooking.
Cooking? Yeah. You're right, Lefty. I do, too.
I thought I caught a whiff of smoke a little while ago.
Fire and cooking means there's someone close by.
I don't see anyone.
No, neither do I. But I know bacon when I smell it. And I smell it.
Steady, boy. I want to have a look. I don't like it when there's people camped around that I don't know about.
I don't think anyone would be camping in this underbrush.
I want her to look. Come on.
All right.
Now I smell wood fire again.
Yeah, it's stronger than ever.
I think. Hey, look.
A cave.
Get your guns out.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, you in there. Come on out. We want to have a look at you.
In the short time at his disposal, the Lone Ranger had moved with lightning speed while his mind raced at an even a faster pace. Capture by Slim Northcott would mean instant death, and he could not avoid capture with the odds so great against him. He had assumed the disguise of Don Miguel.
Come on, you, Arnie. Come out of there.
He put the finishing touches to his disguise as he replied in the voice of a Mexican.
Senor, I mean no harm.
Come over, have a look at you. Make it fast.
Si, senor, I come. I mean no harm. Please do not take me back to put me into the jail, huh?
If you come out with a gun, you'll start a live.
I come out unarmed, amigo. Only let me speak. That is all I ask.
Well, look at the dude from south of the border.
See, I hold my hands at shoulder level.
Who are you?
Oh, you may call me Don Miguel. But, senor, you are not the law from Frontier Town.
You're right about that.
Are you dodging the law?
Well, I escaped from the jail. I hide in the cave. I am not the criminal. Please let me go, huh?
You must have heard us talking.
Oh, what I hear goes in one ear and out the other. I never remember what I hear.
Never mind that. We're taking no chances. Tie him up, boys, and take him with us.
No. Do not tie me, I beg of you. Leave me,
You heard what the boss said. Give me your hand.
You got a horse here?
No, senor.
You ride with Lefty. We don't have far to go.
But what are you going to do with me?
We'll decide that later on.
The Lone Ranger submitted to capture without a struggle, then rode double with Lefty. It was twilight when the group reached a cabin not far from an abandoned silver mine where other members of Slim Northcott's gang were waiting. The Lone Ranger, tightly bound, was thrown into the woodshed and left there.
Will you hear it, Slim? Will you hear what Squint's got to report?
All right. Hold you quiet down. Hey, you, Squint. You went into Frontier Town first thing this morning to see if you could pick up any news about Jake Dundee and his boys.
That's right, boss. And I sure heard plenty.
Well, let's have it.
It's no wonder none of his bunch met us here like they were supposed to. The whole kit and caboodle is in jail.
What? Jail?
That's right, Northcott. They're all in the clink. And here's something you won't like to hear. They were put there by your worst enemy.
Meaning who?
Meaning the Lone Ranger.
How did he get Dundee?
First, he exposed Dundee's plans to take over Frontier Town. He got some of the boys then. After that, he led a party of lawmen to Dundee's hideout in the hills.
Dundee was bragging he had a hideout no man could find.
Hideout would have been all right if that masked man hadn't pulled a trick.
What kind of a trick?
He rigged himself up with a disguise and got put into jail, handcuffed to Slade. Then he engineered an escape. And Slade brought him to the hideout to get rid of the handcuffs. The law followed.
All right. Now listen, fellas. There's only one thing for us to do, and we got to do it fast.
What's that? Speak up, boss. You name it.
We got to attack Frontier Town right away.
All right.
All of you get your guns oiled up and loaded with fresh cartridges. We'll leave here in a little while and plan to hit town in the dead of night. We go in shooting anyone who gets in our way.
That's it, boss. The fight will be over before it gets started. We won't have any trouble busting Dundee's boys out if we hit fast.
We'll hit plenty fast. And as soon as they're free, we'll clean up the whole community. By sunrise, we'll own Frontier Town. Now, see that you take enough extra guns to equip the boys. We're going to get out of jail. Now, get your gear together and be ready to ride when I give the word.
Hey, boss, you think some of us better stay and guard Don Miguel? Don Miguel? Who's Don Miguel?
That's the name of the Mexican we found in the cave.
You mean the critter in the woodshed is called Don Miguel?
Yeah, why? What about it?
What about it? I'll tell you what about it. Boss, do you know who you brought here? Right there in that woodshed, you've got the man you hate. Don Miguel is the Lone Ranger.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger story. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. When the Lone Ranger knew that capture by Slim Northcott's gang was unavoidable, he hurriedly disguised himself as Don Miguel. In this role, he was taken to a woodshed back of a cabin in the hills. He was there when Northcott learned his real identity.
Just a minute, Squint. Let me get this straight. You say the Lone Ranger's disguised as Don Miguel?
That's what I'm telling you, Slim. That's what he called himself when he went into the prison and got handcuffed to Slade.
That answers your question, Lefty.
My question?
We won't have to leave anyone here to guard the prisoner when we leave to attack Frontier Town. Dead men don't need guarding.
Should we bring him in here, boss?
No. I'll go to the woodshed. I'm going to take particular pains to put a bullet right between his eyes. You, Squint, bring the lamp.
I got it.
You follow behind me with a light.
I'm right with you.
He's not in the corner. Here, Slim, at the window.
Hey, what you... Lamp! The lamp! He shot out the lamp! He's going out the window. Get him! Get after him! Bring him down! Hey, how'd he get out? Who freed his hands? Yeah, where'd he get the gun?
There he goes over there. He and someone else.
It's an Indian. It's that Indian friend of his.
Open up on him. Bring him down.
Get them before they reach their horses. That rock's in the way. There they go. They got their horses. All right, hold your fire. Stop shooting.
Come on, let's mount up and get after him.
How about that, Slim? Get after him. You talk like a lot of jugheads. We got no horses that can overtake that white stallion.
Yeah, that's so. What's more, we got no time to waste. That Lone Ranger, the Indian, probably heard everything we said. They'll head for Frontier Town as fast as they can get there and give a warning. We got to get ready to start as soon as possible.
Me not see any crooks on back the trail.
No, Tonto. I guess we're not followed. Steady easy, big fellow. Once again, I can thank you for saving my life.
Me find message you leave and hide out. Me know you in plenty trouble.
I wondered if you'd be able to follow the tracks and bring Silver with you.
Me do it.
If you hadn't used the shortcut from town to the hideout, it'd have been too late. Keep an eye on the back trail while I get out of Don Miguel's clothing, will you?
Me watch. Your own clothes here in saddlebags.
Good, I'll need them.
Me get them out.
Tonto, Slim Northcott's going to attack Frontier Town right away.
Him got plenty men.
Every one is a killer.
You go warn Two-Gun Taylor?
There's time to do just one thing. We can warn the sheriff or we can ride for help. We can't do both.
Here, man.
Well, thanks. Even if Two-Gun Taylor's expecting the attack, he'll be badly outnumbered. Especially if Northcott lets Dundee's gang out of jail.
That's right.
The gun belt, Tonto, please.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Good. Now, you cut north to Flying Arrows Village. See if you can get the Indians to help defend Frontier Town.
Me talk to Flying Arrow.
I'll ride to Fort Powderhorn. I know the commandant. All right, on your way, Tonto.
Get up, Count.
Steady easy, big fella. One silver.
The Lone Ranger raced across Sagebrush Hollow in a straight line toward Fort Powderhorn at the edge of the frontier Badlands.
One silver.
Slim Northcott's men saddled their horses and checked their guns and cartridge belts. They carried extra weapons to supply Dundee and his men and prepared to set out when their leader gave the word.
Now, boys, listen to me. We're going to ride a straight line past Whistling Springs Geyser and rein up when I give the signal. We'll stop a little distance from the jail.
There'll be at least 2 guards on duty.
We'll pick them off with rifles, then move in fast and shoot anyone that's in the way. Is that clear? Yeah. Now, you boys I named will smash in the jail door, carrying guns for Dundee and all his men. The rest of us will cover you. Now, any questions?
No, it's all clear. Let's get started. We got to travel before that Lone Ranger can rouse the town and put everyone on guard.
Now, we take no chances. Open fire as soon as we hit the town and shoot anything that moves. Now, hit the leather and ride. Take it, boys. Get up there. Get up.
In the dead of night, Frontier Town was wrapped in slumber. But Dundee and Slade were wide awake and alert in the cell that adjoined the office of Sheriff Two Gun Taylor.
Dundee, if you're keeping me awake all night in the hope that help is coming, only to find out that you overestimated Slim Northcott.
Listen, Slade. I'll bet everything I ever expect to have that Northcott will be here with his gang before daybreak.
A couple of guards over yonder by the jail. I can see them through the window.
I'm not worried about guards. They don't bother me. Northcott will take care of them.
Even if he does, they'll probably raise an alarm.
Alarm? There'll be plenty of alarm before we're through. We're going to clean out this town and take over. Those that want to take orders from us, they can stay here. Those that don't...
What about them?
They'll stay here, too. Under 6 foot of ground.
What's that?
Gunfire, of course.
Can I hear hoofs?
Hey, look out that window. What'd I tell you? The Northcott boys.
But there was only 2 shots.
That means there was only 2 guards. Look at them over there.
Come on, boys. Get to jail. Get Dundee and the boys out.
It's there.
Right down that door and pass out guns.
Hey, Slim! Slim! Over here! Me and Slade are locked up in this room.
Don't worry, Dundee. We'll get you out.
The gang struck hard and fast. The guards were down before they had a chance to raise their guns. Sheriff Taylor, wakened from a sound sleep, heard the commotion and leaped from his bed.
Kate, it's a jailbreak. Go call the deputies while I get Pete to sound the alarm.
Matt Miller heard the firing. He was wide awake and strapping on his guns in an instant. Other townsmen heard the shooting, and then a bell began to clang.
Hey, Ryan! What's that? What's going on?
Keep that bell going. Tell all the men to head for the courthouse. I'll meet them there. Matt, get for cover. Dundee's gang got guns. They're out of jail. They're making no attempt to run. The dirty polecats, they want to clean out the town. Keep under cover, Matt. You boys barricade yourselves. This is a showdown fight for possession of Frontier Town.
It was soon apparent that the sheriff was correct. The outlaws were making no attempt to flee. Instead, they stood their ground and maintained heavy firing, as if determined to wipe out every man who fought against them. The townsmen were concentrated in the courthouse square, barricaded by whatever they could find. Everyone, young and old, took part in the defense of the community. Judge Knott, Happy Jack, Lawyer Westcott, and all the others. But the enemy forces were too heavy.
Keep up the firing, boys. Don't slack up.
I'm most out of ammunition. So am I.
Make every shot count.
Two guns, I hear a bugle.
So do I.
Look out yonder.
It's the soldiers.
The boys from the fort.
And look who's riding in the lead. Great day, Matt. Look at him. It's my friend. The Lone Ranger.
The arrival of the troopers changed the tide of battle. Slim Northcott realized that the odds had changed, that against the hard-hitting carbines he had no chance.
Clear while we can. Fire up. Get the ladder. Get back to the hill.
Caught between 2 fires, the townsmen on the south, the soldiers on the north, the outlaws started toward the east and the security of the Enchanted Hills. To their dismay, they found retreat cut off by Tonto, leading Flying Arrow and his Indians, and the Lone Ranger, heading a column of troopers, closed in upon the remaining outlaws.
You're surrounded. Put on your gun and surrender. You'll be wiped out to the last man.
Thanks to the timely arrival of the Lone Ranger leading the troops from Fort Powderhorn and Tonto with the Indians, the victory was complete. Every one of the outlaws who survived the gunfight was captured, including Jake Dundee and Slim Northcott. It was a week before things in town calmed down and the wounded men were able to be up and around. And then a holiday was proclaimed. Flags flew from every building, and bunting was draped from the windows of the courthouse and the meeting house across the street. Everyone in town gathered in the square.
Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor stood on the courthouse steps calling for order, and at his side stood the United States Marshal. Also in places of honor were Judge Knott, Milo Phillips, Doc Drummond, and a number of the other prominent citizens.
Quiet now! Quiet down, everybody! Quiet, please! Folks, quiet down so you can hear what Sheriff Two-Gun Taylor has to say. Ladies and gents, there's been a lot of talk going around about the reward that'll be paid for the capture of Slim Northcott, Jake Dundee, and all the rest of those critters that have been moved out of our jail into prisons where they belong. The amount of the rewards has been posted on the bulletin board in front of Milo Phillips' Southwest Bugle office. You've all seen that the total is a downright tidy sum. By rights, all them rewards belong to the Lone Ranger, but he's turned them down with a request that the cash be used to help out the First Frontier Church, the Indian School, Padre John's Mission House, and several other worthy and deserving outfits. Now, wait just a minute, folks. That masked man not only turned down all the rewards, he didn't even wait around for thanks. But doggone it, if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even have a town. Now, is that right? Well, as long as you're all agreed on that score, I aim to suggest that starting right here and now, we change the name from Frontier Town to Lone Ranger Frontier Town. By thunder, Matt, you hear that? Yeah. We got a new town. It's the Lone Ranger Frontier Town. When that masked man hears about it, he'll know how he rates with every doggone one of us.
The story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate our shows in your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. And send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com. You can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.